Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I'm Chase Earle, joined by Alex Lord and Jake Gordon. Alex, you wrote on this earlier this morning. The Falcons reportedly have an offer out on the table for Darius Slayton, a wide receiver from the Giants, former Auburn product. Tell us a little bit about him and how he would fit in this Falcons offense if he does sign with Atlanta.
Oh yeah, reportedly, he's mulling Giants or Falcons. He'd slot in really perfectly with Drake London and Kyle Pitts and Johnny Smith. He's a big play wide receiver. He was seventh in the league last year in yards per catch. Um, he's not spectacular by any means, but that's why he's a wide receiver too in this league. 3 out of 4 seasons over 700 yards. Led the Giants last year in receivings. Had like 8 or 9 touchdowns as a rookie. A really good complement in this offense, which Giants and Falcons are both run heavy. So he's not going to have as big of a role in either situation. So it's really just familiarity if he prefers to stick it out with Daniel Jones, who he's kind of built up some chemistry with, or, greener pastures down south because he's from Georgia. So that might, appeal to him. Spoke Track had a market value of like $3.5 million per year on a 2-year deal. And I think that's more than reasonable. Maybe even a slight bargain. But as we saw, with Juju Smith-Schuster, Jacoby Myers, these receivers are really not signing big deals like we saw last offseason or the offseason before. So, maybe that is, what his market calls for is $3.5 million per year.
Yeah, I had a pulse on this too when I was doing my free agent options for the Falcons. There were a couple receivers I had, but he was on that list because he had a really good year. And you got to wonder too. You got to take into account Brian Dable's offense is a very good one, and he could be interested in staying in that system. But yeah, like you said, 46 catches, 724 yards. That's some explosive plays right there.
Yeah, Jake, talk about those other receivers you think, because that really is, we said in the last segment, probably the biggest wide open hole. Like that definitely needs to be filled. Everything else, like if they didn't fill it, like you'd be like, yeah, okay, they can probably survive corner, right guard, whatever. They need a wide receiver too. Like that has to happen. So talk about a couple other options if Darius Slayton falls through and he re-signs with the Giants or whatever.
Well, my number one guy right now is Adam Thielen. We talked about, he may want to play for a contender, but apparently he's meeting with the Panthers. So, hey, why not us? There's some smaller guys you could look at. Mecole Hardman, Paris Campbell are two names that come to mind. DJ Chark is another big body guy, that they could be interested in. And you could always bring back Olamide Zaccheaus. I'd be happy to have him back, even if they do go get somebody else. I think he'd be a solid pickup because right now I think it's just Drake London and Frank Darby and maybe Jared Bernhardt, if you count him.
Yeah, it's nothing.
So they're going to have to do something. I expect them to draft one, maybe two.
I think they only really need one because listen, the Falcons, they're going to run the ball, especially with Desmond Ridder being their starting quarterback, as we all assume. They're not going to spin it like that. I don't know if they'll ever spin it like that under Arthur Smith. Kyle Pitts is almost like a wide receiver, especially with Johnny Smith in the fold. They're going to use a lot of two tight end sets. So I don't think they necessarily need three. Maybe you bring back Zaccheaus as your third wide receiver. I think he fills that role nicely. I just don't think it needs to be a superstar. I think Slayton would be a perfect fit. Thielen would be ideal. Like I said, I don't know how much interest there really is. But hey, if he interviews with the Panthers, like you said, why not us? Is there anybody on the market, Alex, that you think fits this better than Slayton or just as good as Slayton?
He's not on the market yet. I keep bringing up Corey Davis. Multiple reporters, credible reporters, say the Jets are going to release him. They still haven't yet. It's the start of the new league year. Maybe they're waiting for the Aaron Rodgers deal to go through. I don't know why they would. But Corey Davis's best years, the reason why he got that big contract from the Jets was because of his time in Tennessee with Arthur Smith, similar to Jonnu Smith. I think he's perfect. I mean, he's pretty much the exact same receiver as Drake London. He's a big body guy who can threaten after the catch. He's good contested catches. He's not going to get a lot of separation like some of the other better route runners in this league, but still just a seamless fit for this offense, and he won't break the bank.
Yeah, I like Corey Davis a lot. Slayton, Davis, Thielen. There's not a lot out there, to be honest. So it definitely could be something in the draft. I know we talked about it in the last segment, but Jackson Smith and Jigba is like he's got a soft spot in my heart. I think he's going to be the top receiver this class by far. So that's a guy I think maybe look out for.